Good afternoon. Welcome to our gathering today to dedicate the Marie and Pierre Curie Hall here at Soka University of America. I want to thank everyone joining us in person in our new conference room and those of you joining us virtually online. I especially would like to thank our esteemed guests for joining us today, including Sergio Prince, representing Orange County Board of Supervisor Lisa Bartlett's office. And of course, welcome to our sincere donors, alumni, students, staff, faculty, and Board of Trustees representatives. The launch of our Life Sciences concentration last year coincided with the start of our 20th anniversary celebration of our Aliso Viejo campus. We have come full circle in the 20th anniversary celebration with today's dedication event for our new science hall, marking a major milestone in our campus's growth. On this occasion, I want to bring attention and pay special appreciation to our precious alumni who played a major role through their examples and voices in bringing the new Life Sciences concentration to life at SUA. We have one alum with us, Isamu Yoshioka, from the first graduating class, and he is representing the many alumni who are currently working in medicine and health-related fields. Isamu, can you please stand up? Oh, he's on his way. So he'll be here shortly. As a student, Isamu had to take science courses during his summer break, like many of our students before this Life Sciences concentration, at local colleges like UC Irvine, just to prepare for their post-baccalaureate medical program. Isamu happened to do his at Columbia University. He now works at Kaiser Permanente in Woodland Hills, California, where he is an emergency medicine physician. We're fortunate he was off today, but still, I think he must have worked late last night. The contribution and trailblazing efforts of alumni like Isamu led to the establishment of the Life Sciences concentration and this new incredible science building at SUA. I want to thank all the alumni very much. Thank you. I also want to thank former SUA President Danny Habuki for all his efforts to usher in this new concentration and to have this building built. Thank you, Danny. And a special thank you to our major benefactor, the Soka Gakkai, SGI USA, and all their members for their direct financial support to make this new science hall a reality. In August of 2003, our university founder, Daisaku Ikeda, sent a message welcoming our third undergraduate class. But first, let's acknowledge Isamu. Isamu, I just said really amazing things about you, and thanked you for setting the example and really helping us establish this new science hall and also the new concentration. Thank you for all your efforts and your great example. Thank you. So in this message in 2003 that Mr. Ikeda sent to the third class, I believe based on his prescience as founder, thinking about the future of SUA, he shared with members of that third class episodes about the life and accomplishments of Marie Curie. In that message he shared, quote, "Dr. Curie developed the kind of awareness and commitment she later expressed in these words: each of us must work for our own improvement and at the same time share a general responsibility for all humanity," unquote. These words of Dr. Curie express the exact sentiment and spirit of SUA's mission as given to us by Mr. Ikeda, and of our individual efforts to become global citizens who lead value-creating lives. As Mr. Ikeda shared in a speech at Columbia University in 1996, value creation, put simply, is the ability to find meaning, to enhance one's own life, and to work for the benefit of others under any circumstances. This spirit and mission are now embraced in our new Life Sciences concentration as well. In his message, Mr. Ikeda continued, referring to Dr. Curie's alma mater called the Free University. Quote, "It could be said that for Dr. Curie, the Free University was her community, her hometown, and it was here that the flame of pride and mission as a Polish citizen was kindled. Dr. Curie's commitment to her community, her country, and the world were made manifest in her actions. It was thus that when, after years of tireless effort, she succeeded in discovering a new chemical element, she named it polonium after her native land. At the same time, she immediately shared this news with members of her alma mater, the Free University, and when she later discovered radium, she did not seek a patent for its method of manufacture, but made this available to the entire world. It was her and her husband's wish that this new discovery be used widely and benefit people throughout the world, unquote. In sharing these words, I can feel Mr. Ikeda's wish and great expectations for our students. I hope as well, together with Mr. Ikeda, that our students will graduate with a love for their alma mater and with a commitment to serve humanity based on their studies in the life sciences, just as Marie Curie did. I hope her name on this building and the statue outside of this building will continue to serve as great inspiration to all of us of what is possible as a global citizen striving to live a contributive life. In closing, I want to thank you all for sharing in this special 20th anniversary moment with us. And it is now my great pleasure to introduce our Soka Student Government President, Yuka Humble, to share a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yuka Humble, and as Ed introduced me, I'm the president of the Soka Student Union Executive Council. On behalf of all students, I'd like to welcome and thank all guests and community members here today in person, and also those watching live stream for your endless support. We celebrated the 20th anniversary of SUA's founding when we were apart all around the world due to the pandemic. Now we're back on campus together and having this dedication ceremony in person and also live stream. And it is a great pleasure and honor to share this moment together. It has already been more than 2 months since the fall semester started, and many students have visited and enjoyed this beautiful science hall. Not only the students who are taking life science concentration courses, but also the many students who are taking general education courses here or just studying in the hall. I sometimes come here to study with my friends, but every time we come, we talk about how beautiful this building is and how grateful we are for donors and supporters around the world who make our education possible. Everything we're doing right now as students here is all possible thanks to you. Thank you so much for always supporting, encouraging, and believing in us no matter what. Taking classes in person, talking with friends in the cafeteria, and walking back to the dorm together. Before the pandemic, I often took all of these experiences as students on campus for granted, but now I genuinely appreciate the friendship I have been able to develop here on campus, the lessons I've learned through dialogue in and outside the class, and the opportunity to seek the purpose of my life by deepening my understanding of SUA's founding principles. For the first time, all 4 classes are here sharing SUA's campus, and this is a fresh departure after SUA's 20th anniversary. Seeing this year as a crucial period, and as we set out on the new departure for ourselves and for SUA this year, the student leaders set this year's theme, Young Founders, Let's Redefine SUA, based on our sense of responsibility as SUA students to redefine it for ourselves, what it means to be an SUA student. Based on this theme, we're having an event called Lions Day, which is happening this Saturday. All students will get together to expand and strengthen our friendship and to deepen our understanding of the founding principles. It is also an opportunity for students to learn from each other and grow together. I am confident that this event reflects the founder Daisaku Ikeda's expectation for us to continually ponder the purpose of SUA's existence and what it means to be an SUA student, as well as nurturing a lifelong friendship. At the first entrance ceremony in 2001, the founder Ikeda called on the students, quote, "The victory of the universities is determined by its students. The success of SUA depends entirely on you. I want you to join with me, with the university's faculty and staff, with people of wisdom and goodwill throughout America, with people of conscience the world over, and together achieve clear full victory, end quote. To conclude my welcome speech, on behalf of all students, I'd like to say that we're so fortunate to have donors and supporters like you all around the world who are believing in us and waiting for us to go into society as global citizens who can make a positive impact all around the world. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Next, I'd like to introduce the Michael Winner, the Vice President of Academic Affairs and Interim Dean of Faculty, to the podium.
It's always a relief to take the mask off. Welcome. I'm humbled as a mere historian to be in a hall this splendid. Clearly, Pauling Hall needs a redesign. When I stood outside a few minutes ago looking at this building, the Pierre and Marie Curie Hall, two things occurred to me. The first was, hopefully at some point in the future, there will be future Marie and Pierre Curie coming through this building and making a real impact, leading contributive lives in the health sciences, in the life sciences, in public health. And the other thing that struck me, and the previous speakers have both spoken to this, is the donors around the world, the tens of thousands of people who, for 20 years plus, have believed in a dream called Soka University of America. And that belief has been coupled with a generosity that is unrivaled anywhere in this country, and I would argue anywhere in the world. And the same is true of the new summer assistantship program that we're going to be offering from the summer of 2022. Thanks to a generous grant from the Stauffer Family Trust and our donors. We're going to be able to offer students across the university in all concentrations, programs, and areas the opportunity to work with faculty throughout the summer. A great deal of this will take place within this particular hall. And these students will be able to improve, enhance, and gain skill sets that will not only assist them as they move into graduate studies, but beyond, as members of society working in the life sciences, in public health, in medicine, in dentistry, and most importantly, leading a contributive life. And so I end where I begin, with yet another mention to the extraordinary generosity of the donors around the world who have made this university possible, who have built these buildings and provided both students and faculty with some of the finest facilities at any university. Thank you, welcome, and I'd like to introduce my colleague, Vice President Brian Penpraise.
Thank you, Michael, and thanks to all of you for being here. I'm just thrilled to see this building come to life along with life sciences, and it made me think a little bit about what life actually is. And I think in this point in the life of Soka University of America, this building is playing a key role as it embodies the kind of growth, the kind of creativity, and the kind of ambition that this place has had for Soka University to build this wonderful facility, to staff it with fantastic faculty, and then to fill it with wonderful students is just an amazing sight to behold. And over the last year, this building has literally come to life as we've opened up our doors again to students. Last year it was empty, and the faculty were toiling away in their laboratories and getting ready for the students. The deer were grazing outside on our lawn. And then just as if something, just snap a finger, Students are everywhere. They're in laboratories and lab coats. They're sitting outside talking about complicated scientific problems. They're in class learning every possible type of science you can think of. And adding this component to our curriculum is so exciting because it gives Soka University another lens with which to engage upon studying the world, and through studying and understanding it, shaping it. And so I'm very excited that we have this capacity here. I think it really adds a powerful new dimension to our university. And I'm really grateful to everyone who supported the program, alumni, all the different donors, the Stauffer Trust that gave us a challenge grant, and then to their amazement watched as our donors fulfilled the matching fund at sort of 3 times the pace that they usually see. So we were asked to raise $1 million over 5 years, and we're already more than halfway there. So it's just been fantastic to see this all come together. One last thing I just want to mention is that in this very room about a week or 2 ago, we had a group of students, about 45 of them, and all of them were sort of sitting where you are now, listening to our faculty. And our faculty were presenting some of their research. And just to give you a flavor of the kinds of things that are going on in this building, I had to write them down, so I got all the terminology right. In that one little hour, we were able to hear from our amazing faculty that span all different scientific branches of knowledge. They're studying metabolic disease, they're studying marine evolutionary biology, they're isolating bioactive constituents in plants for cancer therapy, they're looking at cell signaling proteins, they're actually able to work with tunable coloration in squid. They're looking at the biodiversity of ascidians. They're using iron, gold, and silver nanoparticles for water quality, soil remediation. They're doing physics education. They're working with zebrafish. You should see our fish room. It's really awesome. And then me, I do exoplanets and other kind of astronomical things, which may sound a little bit out of place, but I think in all of these different examples, you see other ways of looking at nature and the ways that human beings interact with and are connected to nature. And that adds so well to our mission and adds such a wonderful component to broaden and strengthen our education here. So I'm just thrilled to have this building here, having it come to life, and I'm so glad that all of you are here too. So with that, I'm going to finish and introduce my colleague, Susan Walsh, who's the concentration director for life sciences.
When we think about a science building, we often think about laboratories and fancy, expensive equipment. Glassware that intimidates and bubbles, microscopes that probe the inside of a cell, smelly bacteria that swish in the incubators, and maybe even dissections and a scalpel. This view may be accurate, but I would counter that these visions only tell part of the story. Rather, it is the interaction of the students and faculty within these laboratory and study spaces that truly creates the spirit of a science building. How would I describe that spirit? It is the celebration of an experiment gone well and the condolences of an experiment that failed. It is the confusion when we need to rethink and reinterpret our hypotheses because cells don't do that. And all the resulting scribble filling the whiteboards and windows to troubleshoot and reimagine our experiments. It is the students who fall asleep on a notebook of cryptic rings of chemical molecules, but still wake up to go to lab meeting, to present their data, and plan the next experiment. It is the excitement of seeing a protein that no one else has ever created appear as a smudge on a Western blot, light up a cell, or hold hands with another protein. It is the drafting, writing, and revisions as students learn to communicate their discoveries beyond these walls and present and publish and share their research at national conferences alongside graduate students and postdocs. It is about supporting students to design, think, and interpret the world around them. Marie Curie is quoted as saying, "I am among those who think that science has great beauty." A scientist in his laboratory is not only a technician, he is also a child placed before natural phenomena which impress him like a fairy tale. Together, the new community within Curie Hall is beginning to weave our own beautiful science stories, and we so look forward to sharing them with you. Thank you for all your contributions to this building and this concentration. Now, please welcome Dr. Robert Hammersley, SUA's Assistant Dean of Faculty, Professor of Environmental Biogeochemistry, and the Science Laboratory Director. In addition to all of those hats, Robert also helped guide the selection of the beautiful furniture you see all throughout Curie. Welcome, Robert.
Hi, everyone. I joined the faculty in 2007 when the university was 7 years old, and at that time I joined 3 other scientists, and our task was to teach general education science courses for students who were going on in concentrations in the existing 3 concentrations: international studies, social and behavioral studies, and humanities. So we definitely, as scientists, felt like maybe a little bit like appendages, useful limbs, really important limbs, but definitely not central to the university. When I came, we had no research laboratories, and there were 3 teaching laboratories in Pauling. And I remember setting up my first research laboratory on a back bench of one of the teaching laboratories, a few square feet that was available to me. And over the first couple of years, I had many conversations with Ed, who was Dean of Faculty at the time, about science and our place here. And eventually I was allowed to use a lounge room as my laboratory. And I didn't have a sink at first, but I came to Ed and said, well, you know, I'd kind of like to have a sink. And he's like, well, all right, you know. So things moved on from there. Eventually, we did a major renovation of the laboratories in Pauling and created the first real research laboratories. And I still didn't really see where this was all going, although I know that there were a lot of discussions happening above my pay grade about this. But from my perspective as a faculty member, I really felt that Ed was the champion of the sciences in Soka University, and I've really felt grateful all the time that I've been here for the way that he's gradually and successfully pushed us from where I was on that back bench in the lab to this remarkable building. I think it's truly an extremely rare experience to be able to take part in the creation of science programs at a university where there really were very little or none. And I'm so grateful for that experience. And in addition to building the science instructional programs, being able to be part of the discussions and the design with the architects from the beginning was truly amazing experience for me. And I do want to highlight some of the things that Susan spoke about, and Brian, how exciting it is to be in a building that was designed to make science visible. And the glass walls of the laboratories, every time I walk by, I feel excited, like I'm part of something big that's happening, and how great it must be for all the other people coming in the building to really see stuff happening. The other really important thing we wanted to create in this building that I'm so happy to see has been so successful is all of the seating space, the study space, the lounge space, and the discussions we had right from the beginning that, wow, we really want this building to be open, not just for the science students, but for all the students on campus, and to create this kind of a welcoming space where everyone feels comfortable coming to relax, to find a little quiet, to enjoy the beauty of this building. So. I'm really looking forward to the next 10 years. I think where we're at now is really just the beginning of where we're headed, and it'll be exciting to see how it all works out. Thank you. Oops. I wasn't really aware I was supposed to introduce the next speaker, but I believe I'm introducing Arohi Bhattarai, class of 2013. Is that right?
Thank you so much, Professor Robert Hammersley. Hello and welcome to Curie Hall Dedication Day, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am Arohi Bhattrai, undergraduate class of 2023. My years as an undergraduate student has been about perpetual plans. As a junior, I'm persistent to prepare myself for my graduate school in neurogenetics or neurobiology. I started as a freshman in my interest in psychology, and with continuous gusto, I embarked towards biology to understand more of biopsychological perspective. It has all been a wonderful ride. Being the first class graduating with life sciences concentrations here at Soka, we've been the experimental guinea pigs. And therefore, we have had the chance to see how life sciences build as a curriculum. As I nurtured myself through COVID-19 and remote learning, I was more than ready to be in Soka for my undergraduate continuation. With remote learning experience for more than 2 semesters, I was hungry to experience what is to come at Soka. With constant effort made by our amazing faculty, I was able to come to Marie and Pierre Curie Hall for my summer research. As I stand here, I cannot head to my summer works without thanking Professor Waltz, Professor Neidem, Professor Crummett, and Professor Fath. Thank you. The first time I entered this building, the feeling was surreal, but empty. There were very few faces around, and I was excited to see all those new faces that would join us for the fall. With that, it felt more responsibility. It felt like the building was all to us. I've seen this building gather itself together. Empty rooms turned to fully equipped laboratories, classroom, and students. Marie and Curie Hall has been jollier than ever. The reason I stand here, what I did for summer research. For my summer research, I worked with Professor Neidem's project where we sequenced ascidians collected from the Gulf of Mexico to sequence and better understand the community composition of marine invertebrates in the area. We also conducted another project assisting with Professor Crummett and Professor Neidem's Springs project-based library, marine ecophysiology. We did a lot of biochemical and molecular assays together, investigated the relationship between different variables, and it was really fun to switch between different projects that was happening in the same lab. My first ever laboratory experience actually started at the Marie and Pierre Curie Hall. It provided wings to my interest and exposed it to how research is performed. It taught me how we play around data, and most of all, how we get them. It taught me lab discipline, consistency, and calmness. It was not just me. It was Riley Grosso, class of 2022, and Claire Nichols, class of 2021, who I got to work together with. They were very important in my lab journey, as you had someone who shared the same experience and the lab setting as you. Riley and Claire helped me see how teamwork is important in a laboratory setting, and it was exciting to see how all of us would come together for the fall. As I take on more laboratory courses and research here, my techniques and skills are just building and growing. I'm taking project-based laboratory with Professor Waltz this semester. Working on hands-on independent project of cell biology has been amazing, and understanding how science is communicated through data has been very intriguing. I'm currently also engaged on an ongoing project with Professor Levinson on molecular cloning of perfect tandem repeats on reflectant proteins. Thank you so much, Soka University of America, for making this possible, for introducing life sciences, providing us with amazing faculty, and dedicating Marie and Pierre Curie Hall for our students' researchers bloom. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. I would also like to thank all the donors and supporters and juniors who have been very consistent about how this concentration grew. I would like to welcome Erika Koyama, class of 2023, a friend of mine who we grew together, an archetype of hard work and poise. Thank you so much for listening.
Good afternoon. I am deeply honored to be here today and to speak on behalf of all current and future students who will be spending a part of their lives in this building. I would like to extend a warm thank you to our distinguished guests, Aliso Viejo community members, and the Soka community for being here today, and the profoundest gratitude to Soka's administrators and generous benefactors for making this building a reality, and to our science professors for their immersive efforts in designing a new life sciences concentration. My first reaction when stepping into this building was that of awe. Curie Hall, with its state-of-the-art equipment, the comfortably furnished study spaces, and the beautiful kaleidoscopic glass exterior, obviously expresses the desires and mission of the leaders and founder of Soka University. But studying in Curie Hall has also taught me that this building is much more than its bricks and mortar, glass and equipment. This past summer, I had the privilege to work with Dr. Susan Walsh and my classmate, Michaela LaFrenz, on a project that explored the function of a novel protein in yeast. Under the supervision of Dr. Walsh, I attained tangible skills and the opportunity to work alongside a scientist, but also a proportional number of experimental setbacks. I thought the summer was lost, but Dr. Walsh explained that this is, in fact, good science. Good science is tenaciously and collaboratively exploring new ideas, expanding human knowledge, and moving forward the global community. The time here learning from professors will not only potentially change the world, but this summer, it changed me. My research has ignited an enduring passion for the sciences and has provided formative experiences which have become some of the most fulfilling and stimulating moments of my life, and I might add, some of the toughest. But even the toughest of times have never been spent alone, because Soka's interdisciplinary curriculum creates scientists of compassion, not competition. The hands of my professors and peers that extend out to students in need show us that we are surrounded by a warm, loving, and strong science, guided by camaraderie, character, philosophy, and the scientific method. In Curie Hall, which provides a place for these heart-to-heart relationships, is the treasure of our newly formed life sciences concentration. This hall is a representation of Dr. Marie and Pierre Curie's legacy of tenacity and intellectual curiosity. I would like to close with a quote from Dr. Marie Curie. "Certain bodies become luminous when heated. Their luminosity disappears after some time, but the capacity of becoming luminous afresh is restored to them by the action of a spark, and also by the action of radium." I hope that Curie Hall becomes that divine spark that brings science closer to all of our hearts. Thank you, and now please welcome back Soka University's president, Dr. Ed Fiesel.
Thank you, Erica. I want to thank all of our presenters today. Let's give them another round of applause for such a wonderful job. It is now my great pleasure to welcome Sergio Prince from Supervisor Bartlett's office to make a special presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Fiesel. Since the very beginning, when Supervisor Bartlett took office, our office had such a wonderful relationship with Soka University, beginning with Daniel Habuki and now with Dr. Fiesel. We have collaborated on a number of important endeavors, not the least of which was your unbelievable international festival, which we miss. But prior to COVID, we sponsored and participated in that. And I want to also acknowledge Wendy Harder, who has been a great ambassador for the university and a great liaison to our office. We really appreciate you. And I met Martin earlier, and I'm looking forward to continuing that relationship with Martin as well. I was here previously for your observatory event, and this university is such a pride and joy to have in the 5th District in South Orange County. The beauty of it alone is unsurpassed. But as I was standing outside looking at the beautiful statue of Marie Curie, there was a quote on the plaque outside, and I was trying to memorize it because it's such an appropriate quote, and I was really thankful to find it in your program. Because I think it's worth repeating from Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less, and never were those words more appropriate than they are today. But with that all being said, I'm very happy to have a plaque from Supervisor Bartlett here in honor of this occasion, and it reads, "Congratulations to Soka University of America upon the occasion of the Aliso Viejo dedication ceremony for Marie and Pierre Curie Hall. Students will surely benefit from your state-of-the-art science laboratory building that provides research and teaching laboratories for life science and environmental studies concentrations, in addition to your science and mathematics program." So on behalf of Supervisor Lisa Bartlett, I'm proud to present you with this plaque.
Thank you, Sergio Prince and Supervisor Bartlett, for all of your tremendous support over so many years. We look forward to our continued collaboration on ways that we can support and give back to the community. So thank you. So just a few announcements before we conclude. As this ceremony ends, we will have student tour guides right outside this room, ready to give tours for those of you who would like to see more of the Science Hall. There will only be 4 at a time for each tour. And then I'd also like to ask the presenters to join me outside of Curie Hall in front of the statue to make a commemorative photo, to take a commemorative photo. We won't be taking a group photo because of our COVID protocols. But I want to thank you again for joining us today in person and virtually for the dedication of Curie Hall. And this will conclude today's event. Thank you very much.